cast of the Andy Griffith Show together for the first time in nearly 20 years. That show was the third highest rated TV movie of the 80s. It was one of over a dozen reunion shows which captured the attention of viewers.
Max, look!
Missed it by that much.
There's not going to be any gunfighting in my town as long as I can help it.
In the 80s, what's new was old again. The television viewers of the 50s, 60s, and 70s demanded more nostalgia this decade. Instead of a trip to the future, audiences journeyed back to the past.
After 15 years, we're finally rescued.
Rescue?
It started as far back as 1978, when Rescue from Gilligan's Island ranked The Castaways as the 5th highest show that year. So by the time the 80s rolled around, all three networks were scrambling into production with their own little blasts to the past.
Ouch!
There was I Dream of Jeannie 15 years later. Then came the return of Perry Mason, the reteaming of the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman, and the memorable Return to Mayberry.
We've all changed a little bit, and I think that's what's relevant about it, is the audience's ability to relate to these characters, and they've changed too in the 20 years since the show was on.
He's a good one, ain't he, Paul?
Good.
Lots of the original shows still live in reruns, but baby boomers wanted to see what happened to those families they loved in years gone by.
Be fair, Wally. If you got divorced and lost your job and had 2 growing boys, where would you go?
The Beaver returned in a series, the Brady girls got married, a wedding got the 8 is Enough clan back together, and James Arness and the late Amanda Blake returned to Main Street for Gunsmoke returned to Dodge in 1987.
With really good shows to begin with, and over a number of years, they gathered a large and loyal audience, and that same group of people is out there for the most part.
Lassie returned with lots of new additions to the cast. Mission Impossible launched the new show based on the old idea. Star Trek The Next Generation introduced Trekkies to a whole new crew on the USS Enterprise.
More? Well, of course there's more. I was just thinking of a way to word it.
Don Adams and Barbara Feldon are familiar faces that have been seen other places, but it's Max and 99 that audiences want to remember.
People get upset if you don't. They want to see the character that they identified with, and if you change it, you're doing something else completely. So why not do the Rain Man, which I wanted to do, but Dustin Hoffman got in there first.
These remakes are so popular that when TV's favorite family returned last year with A Very Brady Christmas, the special single-handedly gave CBS a boost into second place for the first time last season. The reason for the popularity?
There's an incredible longevity to this, and the fact that we've got 85,000 outlets, I mean, cables and numbers and channels and all that sort of thing. There almost literally isn't any place I can go that I won't be recognized.
The Bradys have proved so valuable, they're coming back to series television a 4th time, and the cast is looking forward to a new life.
We have an audience out there of little kids that keep being born, that latch on to us because we're on every morning somewhere in the United States, all over the world. Actually, we're in over 60 countries. So I think they're going to be appealing to like 3 different levels of audience, and it's going to be a neat trick if we can pull it off.
And reunions continue on into the 1990s. NBC will air The Death of the Incredible Hulk in February, and the Love Boat reunion will air in time for Valentine's Day. But this voyage, the boat sails on CBS, not ABC.
The late-night talk show scene changed dramatically at the start of the 80s when David Letterman's show debuted. Now at the end of this decade, Arsenio Hall is dishing the talk viewers want to hear. But its talk aired in the naked light of day that held people's attention through the 80s.
How you doing when it's time?